Hello everyone, it's time for us to talk about product recommendation systems. For the e-commerce, we have to analyze the order systems information and we have to predict how to make a product recommendation for our right customers. Okay, so what is product recommendations? So basically we use the data set from our e-business commercials, and we basically we use the filtering systems. In Chinese we call 过滤. You have to filter the required data, the useful data for our analytics. And we have to seek to predict and show the items what is the right product for our right customers, and the user would like to purchase our product. Okay, so that's product recommendations, especially for the Netflix systems. So when you watch the movie in Netflix, they also recommendation some interesting movies for you. If you watch some particular actors movies, or maybe different types of movies, they can give you some recommendation movies for your own. Okay, so here is examples to make a recommendation for different kind of persons. Maybe it's a child, maybe it's female, or maybe male. Different kinds of customers, they are interested in different type of movies. So different customers were interested in different items. So that's why we have to do the product recommendations. The data set for these examples is online retail. And this online retail data set, you can hyperlink, you can double-click this website, which is from UCI. So please copy this web link here and go to a new browser. So you may find the data set provided by UCI, which is University of California, Irvine. So there are two descriptions. One is for data set description, and I have mentioned this data set before. Basically, you have to find the abstract for the data set. So this is a transaction data set which contains all the transactions occurring from almost 1 year transaction for online retail, 一个线上的一个零售系统. So basically you have to notify how many numbers of instance. So what is the instance? So how many records? So the records is more than 541,000, 超过了54万笔的资料. And you have to know how many attributes. So we also call variables. So there are variables for each instance. It's like a 2-dimension with 541,000 crossed by 8. It's 2 dimensions. And for the dataset information website, you have to read the attribute information first to realize, to know the data you are going to investigate. So there are 8 attributes, right? So there are the information for these 8 variables. So the first one we call invoice number. So it's an invoice number. It's a numeric. It's a 6 digital numbers. Okay, uniquely assigned to each transaction. So each transaction with a unique invoice numbers, like the 发票, okay, in Chinese. So the second variables we call stock code, which is product code, product ID. You can call item ID. It's a 5 digital numbers unique for each product. So each product has a unique stock code for each one. Also has the description for the product ID, 产品的名称. It's a string, okay? We also have the false variable quantities, 数量. The quantities of each product, each items per transaction is numericals, 数字型的. For the invoice date, is the day the transaction generated. Okay, the invoice date. Unit price, 单价. Okay, the unit price for each item, each product. A customer ID is the customer number for your customers, and they also a unique assignment to each customers. So each customers with a unique customer ID, like our personal ID, school ID is the same, unique assignment to each customers. Also for the last variables we call country. The country name for the customer he or she lived. Okay, so that's all the information for our 8 attributes. After we know the attribute information, it's time for us to download the dataset. So you may download the dataset by click here, data folder, 资料集 from this website, data folder. So you may find there is an Excel format dataset. So it names online retail .xlxx is Excel format. So please download this dataset into your own computers. Okay, so basically it will download to your download folder. In Chinese we call 下载的工作区. So you may download this online retail dataset from the website. Okay, so you save to the file to your own computers. Okay, it may take some time to download from the website. Okay, so if you do this whole process, you may take a look at in your folders. Just download. Okay, so you may find on your own computers on the download folder there is an online retail Excel format, this one. So you may see we just download today, and how it's more than 23 megabytes. 23 枚的资料. Okay, so we have downloaded the dataset. Also, you may download the dataset online. If you want to download the dataset in your Python source code, so you can do the other way to just copy the web link, the hyperlink for this cell. So you can go to this one, okay, online retail, and click with your right mouse click, 右键, your mouse click, the right click mouse. So you may find to copy the link for this data set. So just copy the web address. So you just copy. Okay? Okay, so then go back to our Python source code, and I just provide from our island system, or maybe from our Facebook. So you may find my core lab source code. Don't forget to save a copy with your name. So this is a second version for our product recommendation systems. So you may find here is a version 2. Okay, the only things you have to do is to make a copy on your Google Drive. So we have done this before. Don't forget to save the file name with your school ID and your name, please. Just replace Steve with your school ID and your name, please. And you done this, so please to save on your Google Drive. Okay, so later we have to import the dataset. So it's time for you guys to download the dataset into your notebook, your computer, and also to pass the hyperlink we just copied. So I have done this before. So you may find we just copy the hyperlink for this online retail, the web link. Okay? Okay, so please do the same things to download the dataset. And then I have to teach you how to upload your dataset to your Google Drive.